Hello there. This guy lives with his father in a gloomy suburb of Boston. He constantly fights with others, and the only thing his reputation provokes in people is horror. He seems to be destined for either prison or a cemetery. Will anyone be able to see that there's more to him than that? And most importantly, will Wayne himself be able to find his place in this cruel world? Wayne rides his bike to a building in the slums of Boston. He looks at the three men smoking near the entrance. The guy stoically endures all the attempts of the trio to scare him off and humiliate him, and picks up a piece of ice.
What the fuck? You asshole!
The furious building owner rushes out into the street, knocks the boy to the ground, and starts beating him savagely. But Wayne, who knows how to take a punch, gets up as if nothing had happened. Wayne leaves, leaving the men stunned. He returns home and is greeted at the threshold by his landlord, who demands money and doesn't care about the condition of the boy's gravely ill father. The boy throws a sausage to a dog, who jerks his landlord's arm violently, causing him to fall to the ground and swear at the bully. Soon, a pretty girl knocks on the boy's door selling cookies. Wayne invites her inside. He turns on the music and does a strange dance, after which he offers to be her boyfriend. The teens tell each other about their lives, and it turns out that Wayne has a brother in the army. The girl also has two brothers she hates. They get close, but Wayne has no money for cookies, and buying them becomes a prerequisite for continuing their relationship. The boy goes to school, where the students are terrified of him. He exchanges a few words with his only friend, Orlando, and then discovers that someone has changed the lock on his locker. He opens it with the hammer that he always carries with him, but the things inside the locker are gone. Wayne goes straight to Principal Cole to sort it out. It turns out that he has known the boy's father for a long time, and lets the bully get away with a lot. The son, like his father, does not tolerate bad guys, and gets into a fight at the first opportunity.
He also beat me up. Beat the shit out of me at my own birthday party.
The principal says that Wayne won't get far if he follows his father's steps. And yes, it's a great injustice that he got sick because of work, and the court sided with the employer. Wayne's mother is gone too, and he realizes that the boy has every reason to be a troubled teenager. The hero listens to the moralizing half-heartedly while eating a banana. On his way out of the office, Wayne sees Orlando being humiliated by another guy. He gets angry and knocks a couple of teeth out of the bully. The friends leave school together, and Wayne tells him about a girl who will go out with him if he can get money for cookies, although he doesn't even know her name. He sells Orlando his father's adult film collection and heads to the girl's house, some dump on Norton. He gives the girl all of the money, and Dell is willing to keep her end of the bargain. She shares her dream of becoming the town's mayor.
I'm gonna vote for you.
The teenagers take it upon themselves to clear the yard of snakes. Wayne asks about Dell's family, whom she wants to get away from so fast. Speak of the devil, and he shows up. Bobby's dad pounces on the kid from behind, takes the money and his daughter away, and the Lucetti twins give Wayne another beating. The hero returns home where he meets his father's nurse. She treats the boy with kindness and sympathy.
One ex-boyfriend of mine said some kid about your age came to his house and put 2 rocks in his window.
It turns out that Wayne caused the mayhem because he found out that her ex cheated on her. And although the teenager proudly wears the scars and bruises of his heroic deeds, he hears the same advice from yet another adult who wishes him well. You shouldn't take on other people's problems, but rather deal with your own. The son approaches his father. He hands him an envelope of money he has won in sports betting. Outside the window, the neighbor's children are setting off loud fireworks, and the father holds his son back from getting into another fight. Inside the envelope is also a picture of Wayne's mother and her new husband standing next to their fancy car. Turns out, Wayne's father bought the automobile, and a few hours later his wife stole it and drove off with her lover. All this happened when the boy was only 5.
Biggest shame for a father, not having something to leave his son.
The dad says that this car was supposed to be the boy's inheritance. The neighbors blast fireworks again, and Wayne runs out into the streets to teach the little pricks a lesson. Instead, he sees the neighbor's family looking happy, so he decides not to disturb their peace. And when he returns home, he finds his father already dead. Wayne heads to the garage where the motorcycle is parked. With him, he has a bag of the neighbor's fireworks and nunchucks. Wayne sets his house on fire and taunts his landlord one last time. He arrives at Dell's place, who agrees to go with him to Florida, where the stolen car and his mother's family are located. Wayne quickly deals with her brothers by dropping the TV on their heads. Her daddy is, however, already waiting outside.
Really? Fireworks? Oh!
The man doesn't let them and loses a sizable chunk of his nose in the fight, while the guys take off on their bike. Meanwhile in Florida, his mother's lover Calvin gives that very car as a birthday present to his thug son, Reggie. On the way, the couple stops for the night in the woods and sets up a tent. Wayne takes care of the food as best he can and serves up wild rabbit. And in Boston, Officer Jay and Sergeant Geller take in Dell's father Bobby at the station, who reports that his 15-year-old daughter has been kidnapped. The tardy sergeant suspects that he has cancer and doesn't seem to take the man seriously, which angers Bobby. The runaway teenagers go into a cafe to get something to eat.
Coffee.
Well, you're a little young to be drinking coffee is all.
And you're a little old to be wearing that choker is all. But the hot ones with the hot ones, right, Tracy?
Dell's period begins, so she asks Wayne to buy her tampons. The guy's too shy and goes from store to store. He is saved by the salesgirl's advice, and he immediately pays her back by beating a stranger up for being rude to her. When Wayne returns, he does not find Dell in the cafe and decides that she has run away. The waitress Tracy steps in and tries to help the guy, but he has already spotted the girl, who has already bought the stuff she needed on her own. She simply didn't wait for Wayne, who ran around for an hour and engaged in yet another retaliation. Enraged, Dell demands that he not follow her and goes to the bus station. Wayne returns to the tent and finds two guys there. They praise his jacket and advise him to catch up with the girl. They show him how to take a shortcut to the bus station through the golf course, which is guarded by Lee freaking Murray with a shotgun. Wayne enters the course with his hammer ready and gets shot right in the head. Dell meets Tracy at her second job at the train station box office. She asks why the girl's buying a ticket to California. They don't get along right away
Why you got so many jobs? Crack habit?
That's it. It's on.
and solve the problems with fists. But the women's fight ends just as quickly as it began. Murray didn't expect the salt shot to cause such wounds to the teenager. He intimidates Wayne not to report anything to the police. His girlfriend Kira comes back and just demands to finish the kid at the spot. Tracy and Dell end their arguments and chat about life. The woman has changed 8 different foster homes and is unhappy in love, and advises her to give Wayne a chance. The Lucettis encounter the sluggish sergeant again. Geller has taken the necessary tests. The cancer is not confirmed, and now he believes that God has given him a second chance. The sergeant is ready to begin the search for the kidnapper, but unexpectedly takes Wayne's side once he learns that his father died of cancer.
He's obviously lashing out. He's in pain. You all fucking with me, aren't you?
The aggressive dad gets tasered, and Tracy and Dell run into the 2 tent looters on the road. They tell them where the guy went, and that he's crazy about Dell. The girl bursts into Murray's shack with a chainsaw, just as Wayne is about to play the 5-finger fillet for his life. Wayne swings the knife right into the center of his palm, which dramatically changes the situation. The chainsaw lands on Murray's leg, and acid is sprayed in Kira's face. Wayne breaks free, but Kira holds him and Dell at gunpoint. Tracy bursts in and knocks the woman down. The guys bail, and Dell suggests that they take things slow in their relationship. Wayne has lost a postcard with his mother's address on it, and it is brought to the station by the landlord who has written an arson report. The Lucettis hear the address, arm themselves, and go to Florida on their own. The sergeant, on the other hand, is touched by the kid's story and is looking for a way to give him a second chance. Dell and Wayne spend time together overcoming their fears and habits, kleptomania, and shyness. In the next town on their way, the teens get caught in the rain. They ask a young lady of easy virtue to get them a hotel room and see an ad in the paper about Dell going missing. In the meantime, the police are trying to find out about Wayne from his classmates.
He once ate a frog in class, but not like biology class, in English class.
Orlando is also interrogated. He defends his friend, after the departure of which, the guy is regularly punched in the face by the bullies who swarm the school. The principal tries to protect his reputation and complains to the police that his 4th dog has died in 2 years.
I'm very sorry for your loss.
Maybe you're just a bad pet owner.
Dell is going for a swim in the motel pool, but it turns out to be too dirty. A crowd of students arrive and suggest that the guys get drunk and hang out with them. Orlando finds the director in the staff bathroom and informs him that the Lucetti family is following Wayne with bats. He offers to go to Florida together to rescue his friend. Dell wants to give up the fun with the students so they wouldn't be recognized, but Wayne talks her out of it. In turn, she has to at least make up a cover story, but always honest Wayne is absolutely no good at lying.
You think of somebody? Character or whatever?
Conan.
O'Brien?
Barbarian.
In the end, he only squeezes out a pseudonym, John Wayne, while Dell lies outright. The drunken students play truth or dare, and Wayne listens jealously to the piquant details about his girlfriend's love affairs. The sergeant visits Cole and tells him that the principal's dog has been poisoned by his neighbor. Emotions overwhelm the man, but he is very glad that he is not to blame for the pet's deaths. Wayne gets his turn in the game, and he shares that the toughest thing that has ever happened to him was a 2-minute cardiac arrest from his older brother's beatings. The hyper of the group doesn't believe the kid and tries to pick a fight, and Geller and Cole share their thoughts on Wayne.
But I gotta tell you something, that kid, has never got a chance. You got the shit end of the stick at every turn, and I can keep...
After the conversation, the principal goes to the shelter and takes the most aggressive and restless dog from there to unleash it on the scumbag neighbor before the trip. Cole will spend the vacations to go to Florida together with Orlando and stop by a principal's conference on the way. Wayne is provoked again, and he's already clenching his fist. Dell asks him not to resort to violence, and surprisingly, it works. Wayne steps aside to blow off steam. He decides to deal with his anger in a more original way. The motel owner calls the cops, who catch the students while the guys are hiding. It turns out that the girl is not as experienced in love as she boasted. But Wayne is not as simple either. But he withheld one little detail.
That was it? Lied, you sneaky son of a bitch.
His brother really did beat him half to death before his father intervened. After that, he went straight into the army. The fugitives rush for the bike. The adventure continues. In the next parking lot, the couple finds shelter in a house for sale. They're thrilled to be able to wash their clothes properly, and Wayne especially likes the smell of soap. Geller and Jay take a leave of absence to find Wayne before the others and set him on the path of correction. The guys had all their money stolen from the motel they stayed at, and now they have to earn at least some money to buy gas. Wayne goes to do some manual work with the immigrants, and Dell promises to sell her jewelry, the gifts from her deceased mother, instead of stealing.
My mom taught me how to survive, too. Which is ironic, seeing how she's dead now.
At the pawn shop, the girl meets a mother and her daughter unsuccessfully begging the owner to buy her husband's stuff so she could pay for his funeral. Dell steals some of the items and sees the fake IDs in the back room. She blackmails the salesman with cops to pay the widow. Wayne finds a part-time job with a construction crew, but does a poor job and only causes problems for the others. Dell watches over the widow and wants to attend the funeral, where she also invites Wayne. He has to be at work though, and the next day the guy drops his hammer on the tiles again. His talents for destruction are noticed, and he is sent to break down walls, which he does very well and earns the respect of the other workers. Dell's brothers are alone and discuss that their father has forgotten about their birthdays. The older one defends his father, but the younger one says that he has been unfair and cruel to them too many times. They get drunk and decide to make themselves a present by giving their dad a beating. Their sister, meanwhile, is looking for a black dress for the funeral. She refrains from stealing, and the salesman is touched by the girl's story and gives her the dress for free. One of the Mexicans shares a meal with Wayne and covers his failures in front of their boss. The guy receives his paycheck, while the foreman decides to cheat the migrants and tricks them, taking them to the immigration office for deportation. Wayne, not thinking twice, steals the boss's car. After nailing the foreman to the door and paying his colleagues, the hero joins Dell at the funeral. The girl is touched about the priest's words about how hard it is for a young child to lose a parent. She never sold the necklace that reminds her of her mother. Meanwhile, the twins are getting ready to attack. They are interrupted by a message from Dell with congratulations. The boys are touched and decide to end the day peacefully. Retrospective. Delilah comes out of the building covered in blood. The scene changes to a carefree Dell and her mother swimming in the hotel pool and gossiping.
Was it another boy? Another girl?
Jesus, Mom.
I don't give a shit as long as you're happy.
The girl does not want a relationship right now. She is more interested in the prospect of becoming class president. Yet she does not believe in herself. Her mother teaches the girl to be braver and use her charm. She flirts with a young guy overseeing the pool and orders a drink at Graciela Campos' expense, inventing a cover story for her daughter as well, which she is now forced to support. The twins are trying to figure out what the noise coming from the wall of the house is. It seems that a cat got in there. The father slaps his sons and learns from them that the daughter and mother have taken a day off. Donna drinks pills from a bottle with Graciela Campos' name on it and washes them down with alcohol. She also steals the woman's bag. The real Graciela shows up, and the Lucettis flee from the scene. They return home, where Bobby scolds his wife for what she is teaching her daughter. But he is too happy with the stolen oysters to continue his moralizing. The family is seated at the table and discusses Dell's plans to become the class president, showering each other with curses. At school, Dell and her friends are looking for volunteers to donate blood for a guy from the hockey team. They have an argument with several girls who call Dell's mother a cheater and a drug addict. The father picks up his daughter and tells her that her mother isn't feeling well. So instead, he will go with Dell to buy campaign materials.
You want to remind people to vote for you, you can write your name on the bathroom walls. That's how I got your mom's number.
The dad doesn't like the whole idea and is being stingy. According to him, Dell doesn't need to get the attention of the stupid crowd. But on hearing that his daughter suffers from rumors about her mother, he sympathizes with Dell and buys her whatever she asks for. At home, the drunken mother ruins Dell's poster. Bobby accuses his wife of not keeping her promises and ruining her daughter's reputation. The man, too, in desperation, grabs a bottle and goes out into the yard, while the brothers are still trying to smoke the cat out of the vent. The candidates are speaking in front of the audience. Dell's speech passes in silence, although she tries to be sincere and raises important school issues. She manages to impress the guy who used to guard the hotel pool. He also plays on the hockey team and invites Dell along with her mother to the game. When Dell returns home, she sees her drunken father, who informs her that her mother has just gotten into an accident and is no longer with them.
Hey, you promised me you weren't gonna cry. Don't cry.
The father doesn't let his daughter get over her grief. Dell continues to go to school, but she is severely depressed and indifferent to the elections. The girl returns to the hotel pool and jumps into it with her clothes on, trying to drown herself, but is pulled out by the lifeguard guy. The day of the blood donation for the hockey player arrives. On the next bunk to Dell lies the girl who insulted her mother.
You know, I'm just sorry and everything for you and your family.
Dell rips the needle out of her vein and moves around the hall, poking through the blood bags. Back at home, she smashes every wall in the house with a sledgehammer and pulls out the trapped cat. It's the present time again. The Lucettis continue their pursuit of the fugitives. They, in turn, are waiting in the cafe to satisfy their hunger with leftover scraps from departed guests. While the guy retreats to the bathroom, Dell gets raided by the local school truants. Her backpack is taken from her, and she is taken to the library to serve her punishment with the other bullies.
I mean, kneeing that narc in the balls like that? Move over, Kate Blanchett. I think if I'm a spirit animal.
Dell immediately earns their respect. Adding to their impression is Wayne, who breaks into the school on his bike and steals his girlfriend. Geller follows the trail of the couple and interrogates the wounded crook who tried to cheat the immigrants. They again discuss the guy, who leaves behind a string of crimes.
A hole where a motherfucker's nose used to be, and you still going on like he's some type of choir boy.
The teenagers discuss school life, in which Dell even had a friend and dreams. The only good thing Wayne remembers from that time is the smell of pink soap. Trish and Jenny join the protagonists and invite them to the disco. They go to Jenny's house to change, while Wayne digs through Dell's makeup bag and finds a ticket to California. Shy and insecure, he feels like an extra at this feast of life and shows his concern by deciding to leave and not to disturb the girls. The school where Dell was taken to calls her father. Now he knows where to look for his runaway child. Cole and Orlando arrive at the conference. The director hesitates and says that even if the grant is given, the kids will break it and mess up all the equipment right away. Orlando gives him the idea of Googling a ready-made speech, which he does. But the same speech is read out by the speaker who speaks before him, forcing the director to improvise.
Someone told me to dig deep and speak from the heart. So I did some digging. You know what's in there? Hate.
But the man suggests that this hatred be put to good use, and that they work through it to become better people. The fish rots from the head, and the anger and despair of the leadership is reflected in the actions of the students. Wayne, after some consideration, eventually returns to the disco and repeats his funny dance there, winning over Dell as he did the first day they met. The guys relax, experiencing a rare moment of ordinary, carefree school life, and go out for some air.
Who even are we now? You know, what are we gonna do after we find that car?
Dell doesn't want to repeat the fate of her mother, who didn't finish school. Wayne says he doesn't want to take away the normal life he can't give her. Their intimacy is once again disrupted by the Lucettis, who pounce on Wayne and start beating him. But this time, there is someone to stand up for the guy, and a mob of angry school children storm out of the school. A video of the fight is found on social media by Jay and Geller. In Florida, Reggie wants to sell his alligator to an exotic animal breeder to make shoes out of it. The man refuses and gets punched in the face. Geller visits the battered trio in the hospital. Bobby is fine, but cannot cope with his emotions without alcohol and other substances, pestering the doctors. The sergeant comes up with a plan to lure the runaways and spread rumors that Dell's father is dying through the news. Wayne is also badly beaten, but doesn't want to go to the hospital, so Jenny gives him a strong painkiller that gets him high. The guy's tongue loosens up in a way that makes him unrecognizable.
You're pretty.
Having recovered, Wayne hears the news about Lucetti dying and tells Dell. The boy flatly refuses to go into the hospital, so the couple splits up. On the street, Wayne meets an anxious 19-year-old dad who thinks his life is over. He looks dreamily at Wayne's bike as a symbol of the freedom he has lost forever. Dell goes up to her father's floor and hears him yelling at his sons for reporting his alcoholism to the doctors. Because of that, they won't give him his medication.
Somebody please get me a goddamn f***ing drink!
Dell gets alcohol with the help of Wayne's new acquaintance and mixes up the hangover booze her father taught her to make when she was 8. She is upset with Wayne, but the boy explains that he has too many bad memories of his father's illness and hospitals. After talking it out, he eventually finds the strength to go inside. The guys see the cops and hide in the morgue on one of the gurneys. The first kiss takes place in a rather unusual place. Afterwards, Dell visits her father but gets spotted by Geller. The sergeant catches up with the runaways in the MRI room.
I need you to trust me.
Trust ya? Cops lied and said my dad was dying.
The man fails to gain their trust, and when a strong electromagnetic field turns on in the office, Wayne points his trusty hammer at the sergeant's head.
You don't have to be like your father.
The guys take off, parting with both the hammer and the bike they give to their new acquaintance, which throws the police off their trail. After that, Geller is no longer willing to give Wayne a second chance. A couple arrives in Florida by bus. They enter a cafe and encounter Reggie and his father, who refuse to pay and simply rob the clerk. Outside, a shocked Wayne stumbles upon the cherished car. He doesn't rush into a fight and stops himself, letting the group drive away.
I cannot believe you let that car get away. Came all the way to fucking Florida for you to let that fucking car get away.
However, the guy has another plan. The guys find the right house, and Wayne resorts to provocation by pouring beer on the ground. He gets punched in the face by a tough guy, who then gets knocked out with an improvised sling out of a beer can. Wayne's mother, Maureen, rushes out of the house at the screams and invites him and Dell to a family dinner.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, do you not care how your son's been doing for the past 11 goddamn years?
The quarrel is interrupted by Wayne, who bluntly informs her that his father is dead. The lad is trying his best not to punch his provocative stepbrother in the face, and Dell despises the mother who abandoned her young son, even though she and Maureen are somewhat alike. Orlando and Cole enter the state, but all cafes in the religious town are closed on Sunday. The guy knows only one place that serves food, a strip club. The cunning boy walks in, posing as the son of a stripper, and spends the money on her tab. While Cole is eating, his trickery is revealed and they both get thrown out the door. Cole yells at the little weasel, but Orlando is even happy about it. He lives with his grandmother, whom he must take care of.
You were looking out for me. It's nice to have someone else be the grown-up for once in my life.
Reggie invites Wayne over to show off the car. In the garage, they are joined by the stepfather, who recalls that it belonged to the boy's father. Nerves are on edge, but the men hold back from having a fight for now. Wayne's mother brings out the childhood photos she has kept for so many years.
You love to carry that hammer everywhere. I never understood why you loved it so much, but...
Dell is jealous of Wayne's mother, who suddenly gets soft and buys her son clothes and shampoos. To get some attention, she steals gel from the store. Maureen protects Dell from the guards, using lies and charm, just like the girl's mother once did. At home, the kids have their first serious conflict. Wayne recalls Dell's ticket to California and her attempts to leave him, and she accuses him of lying.
This whole fucking time, it wasn't even about the car, it was about your fucking father. You're a liar.
No, I'm not.
She warns him that Wayne's mother has abandoned him and will do so again, but it's too important for the boy to make up for his lost childhood. Now Dell is already an extra in this idyllic life and can't stay in the house overnight. Dell wanders alone through the night city and makes her way to the public pool. The female guard is kind and doesn't kick her out, and the lonely girl falls asleep on the mattresses. In the morning, Wayne argues with his brother again. The mother is still caring and courteous to her son. They share a common interest in smells and are busy making candles.
You know, when you were a little baby, you wouldn't go to sleep unless I lit a candle in your room for you.
Mother goes on to talk about his father. He had too many rules and honor and dignity, and was always beating someone up, scaring off all his friends and neighbors. Maureen, too, couldn't stand that kind of life. Orlando and Cole continue on their way and are not far from Wayne. On the road, they almost run over a dog and fly off into a ditch. Cole is terrified of yet another dog's life on his hands, but hears rustles in the grass just in time and finds the dog while the car is taken to be repaired. Wayne wants to please his mother and does men's work around the house, which displeases his stepfather, who demands that the boy be kicked out. But for now, Maureen is still protective of her son. Dell, on the other hand, has exhausted the patience of the guard, and she asks her to leave. This hurts the girl, and she takes revenge.
Did you just piss in my motherfucking pool?
She has nowhere else to go, so she goes to the bus station, and the son and his mother get back to their hobby of setting up candles. But exactly what should have been expected happens. Maureen gives the boy a few days to clean up and leave, under the pretext of her angry husband.
Okay, sweetie, I don't make those decisions.
In rage, Wayne smashes the shelves he had assembled and pictures on the wall and tries to steal the car, but Calvin and Reggie are already waiting for him there. Cole and Orlando make it on foot to the bus station, where they meet a crying Dell, who tried to use her ticket, but couldn't find the money for the change of the place of departure fee. Wayne is about to be tortured, but Geller and Jay arrive at the house just in time to distract the men. They report that they're looking for Wayne and want to see Maureen, in whose name the car is registered. This information shouldn't be public knowledge, so Reggie knocks Jay out and takes Geller hostage. The sergeant challenges the convict Calvin to a duel, revealing the secrets of his past.
Lucky for you. Not the kind I did.
He spent more than 2 years in a Thai prison, where he ended up when his lover framed him for a crime. It's not the first time he fought to the death. Geller has mixed martial arts skills, but he's underweight, so he needs Wayne's help. And together, they knock out the scumbag. Dell tells Cole that Wayne is happy with his mother and doesn't need rescuing. She is surprised that Wayne has any friends at all. Orlando tells her that he'd been bullied and hired Wayne as a bodyguard. In return, the guy asked him for help with another injustice.
Wayne found this kid who was being blackmailed with a video, so he came to me.
They cleaned the net of the video of some girl's drunken mother who couldn't get her shoes on. The bastards were demanding money from her daughter.
Holy shit. You blackmail and cookies?
Dell is blown away, realizing who her guardian angel was long before they even met. Wayne dreams that he's sitting in a bowling alley with Conan the Barbarian. The latter suggests that he abandoned all social rules, and together they happily slaughter the nasty father, who yells and humiliates his young son. The guy wakes up in the police station. He's handcuffed. Geller visits him and brings him some personal items, including a hammer. The sergeant tells Wayne that he is about to be deported to Boston, but he has nothing left in his hometown. And even the reminder of Dell doesn't affect the teenager, who stares sullenly at one point.
I don't need it. Any of it. Anybody.
But a lot of people appreciate Wayne, Principal Cole, his father's nurse, Orlando, and Dell.
From where I'm sitting, everything you do, it's done out of love.
He's not the brutal Conan the Barbarian he sees himself as. Wayne is still young, and he shouldn't let his life go to waste. Once he accepts the rules of the game, he can find a life's work to enjoy and love. Reggie's car and father are taken by the police, and he releases the lizards, kangaroos, and cougars from the cages of the man he beat earlier. The police begin to receive calls about an invasion of wild animals, and the entire staff departs from the station, leaving Wayne unsupervised. Drunk Maureen is napping in the sun, where Dell and her friends from Boston find her. She tells them that her son was arrested, so Dell heads to the station. Turns out, Cole and Maureen are actually old acquaintances.
Butthole Tommy Cole!
Lucky, the director's new pet, turns out to be a pregnant mother, and Cole takes it upon himself to save the dog's lives. He selflessly does the job of midwife and inspires both Orlando and Maureen. Reggie heads to the police station to steal a car and finds Wayne chained there. He's not going to wait for him to steal his car again, so he kicks the guy in the face.
So we're doing this?
In the heat of the fight, Reggie drops a cabinet on Wayne and finds a gun, threatening to shoot him. But at the last moment, Dell bursts in and distracts the scoundrel.
What are you trying to say?
Suck on Wayne's hammer, you hillbilly motherfucker.
Huh?
The couple finally get in the car, and Dell takes the badly wounded Wayne to the hospital. The newly minted midwife rescued all 4 puppies, and it touches Maureen. She remembers Wayne's childhood again, and how the baby never left the front window when she was away.
I think Wayne always knew that I was gonna leave him.
Cole replies that there is still hope, and the woman leans in for a kiss. Dell hurries to get to the hospital before Wayne loses too much blood.
Wayne, I
love you, though.
But these are the last words the lovers say to each other before they are separated. Lucetti catches up with them, knocking them off the highway with his pickup truck. The father drives the girl away, leaving Wayne with only her necklace. Rescuers find him on the ground unconscious. The guy, after all, ends up in the hands of law enforcement and goes to jail. Look for the name of the series in the description of the video. In the meantime, let us know in the comments. Do you think that the main character still has a chance for a peaceful and happy life? And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video so that more awesome stories come out as often as possible.
We got a great looking audience tonight.
The Sweet Popcorn channel has a mega convenient format waiting just for you. Short retellings of movies, from auteur films to Hollywood blockbusters. Pick up your unlimited ticket by clicking the subscribe button.